What's good, everybody? It is your boy Johnny back with another video. Today, as promised, I'm going to be showing my new turntable I got. But before I do that, I'm going to tell a story about all the other turntables I owned in the past. And I'm going to tell you how I got this for a steal. And all the other equipment I have, like my receiver and the speakers I have. But, and then after that, I will show you, I'll let you hear it. Which, hopefully I don't get flagged. I'm going to play an instrumental track on a 12-inch single. So hopefully it will be good. Alright, so, like I said, this is a new turntable I got. It's been a long time coming. I've really been wanting a good quality turntable for a very, very long time. It just hasn't really been in the cards for me. I kept putting it off. But I'm like, you know what? It's time to get a new one. And I finally got one, and I'm going to tell you this killer steel price I got it for. Got it for a steel man. Alright. So, before I do all that, let me tell you a little story. This is about my fourth record player I owned. I owned other ones in the past. When I was about, 13, 14, this is like maybe 2002, 2003. I started getting into vinyl albums, collecting albums. It started with me and my dad. We used to go to antique stores. And we were going through an antique store and I saw these albums. And I'm like, what are those? He's like, those are albums. I'm like, what are albums? He's like, oh, it's a thing with music and you put a needle on it and it plays and all this stuff. He explained it to me and I guess I was fascinated. And ever since then, I've been collecting albums. And I actually collected albums before I had a turntable. So, when I started collecting albums, my dad's like, all right, we got to get you a record player. Okay, so you got to think at this time, it's 2002, 2003. Records were out the door. They were long out the door. They weren't in demand. CDs was the thing. So, you were able to get new record players, but, they just weren't as popular at all. And they were probably still expensive. So, my dad's like, okay, we're going to start hitting up Goodwills and thrift stores to get you a record player. So, every time we went into Goodwill, went to the electronics section, and my dad always checked if it had a needle on it. And if it didn't, we didn't buy it. Because, again, back then, it was harder to get the parts for these things because they weren't in demand. Now you can get parts for anything. You can go on Amazon, get any needle you want, and whatever. So after looking a while, finally, I found a record player. It was my first record player I had, and it was a Fisher. It wasn't, it's a lot better than the last one I'm about to show. My third record player around, the one I had for years and years. I'm going to show that in a little while over here because I don't own my first two anymore. So, he got me this Fisher. It had the matching speakers to go with it. I remember it was belt driven. And it was, you put it down, it came back automatically and the arm sat back where it was supposed to go. So it had all that. It was a nice record player. It was a good starter for somebody starting to get into vinyl. A really good start to me. And I remember it sounded pretty good. But anyways, say maybe a couple years later, my grandfather and my grandparents in Florida were downsizing. So he had, every time my grandfather bought something that was like stereo equipment or electronic or whatever, he always bought, the top of the line best stuff. That's just the type of guy he was. Spent a whole bunch of money. So, and this still kills me to this day. This is an example of being young and dumb with me when it comes to this stuff. Okay, so when you're young and dumb, you think new is necessarily better, but it's not. And I'm going to explain why in a minute. You think new is necessarily better, but that's not necessarily true. But think at the time, again, this stuff wasn't in demand. The parts weren't in demand at that time. You couldn't really get the parts for these things. So anyways, they were downsizing, like I said. And he was going to give me his whole record player setup. He had a killer, and I mean a killer Mitsubishi system. It had the record player, the cassette deck, the 5 CD changer, the receiver, and those tall speakers with the matching cabinet that goes with it. He bought the whole set, brand new. And somehow it got here to, I don't remember how it got to Georgia. And I was trying to hook it up, but it didn't have a needle on it. So, being stupid like I was, but then again, I didn't know any better then, I threw it away. I just straight threw it away. And stereo equipment go for a lot of money. I'm sure, first of all, I can't imagine how much he paid for it at the time. He probably got it in the late 70s, early 80s. I can't imagine how much it would go for now. Probably the price he paid for it. You know, it was a beautiful system, and I threw that one away, and I threw my Fisher away when I got my third record player, which I'm going to show. So this record player I had, it's been. This is just a box of my new one. It's been my record player for years, and this is why I didn't really play a lot of my records, like that anymore. But it just wasn't a good quality record player. So I'm about to show you. It might as well have been a Crosley, So I got this when I was probably about between 13 and 15. My parents got this for me. The bottom of the barrel right here. This thing is called a Detrola, equipped with a plastic needle and all that good stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate my parents getting this for me. They were just feeding my passion for, playing and collecting albums, and I really do appreciate it. So being young, and like I said, again, being young and dumb at the time, I thought newer was better, but not necessarily true. I mean, this isn't a quality one, obviously, but it did its purpose, for me. So I still have it. I'm probably going to give this to my nephew. My nephew, he's about 15, about the age I was when I started getting into it. I think he's getting into it. So I am going to give him this. The CD player doesn't work anymore. It has a cassette deck on the side, it has a radio, and has all 3 speeds. I'll probably buy him a couple of records. My sister, they're in the process of moving. I'll probably set this up in his room or something when the time when he's at school and he comes home and is there. I'll probably get him like a Michael Jackson Thriller record, and I know he's into Green Day too, so I'll probably get him a Green Day record also. So just to pass it on. I don't know. I mean, plus there's memories attached to it, but like I said, it's not that good of a quality record player. So, and I outgrew this long ago, very long ago, because all the collecting I do and the albums I have. But again, I did appreciate my parents for that. But anyway, so let's get to this. This is the box of my new record player. So I'm going to tell you the price I got it for. And it's not the sticker price on this box, okay? Which is $200, so basically $300, okay? First of all, it's the Audio Technica, as you can see. Direct drive. Has a USB. There's a model number. ATLP 120 USB. They have a new one. I think they just added an X USB to it. Which I don't know the difference. They just came out with that one, I think about 6 months ago, maybe. I don't know the difference really. Maybe they upgraded a couple things, but I'm happy with this. Cannot complain. So, like I said, got it for about $300. Alright, so down here in Georgia, there is a store called Second and Charles. If you live I think they're just in the Southeast. If you live in the Southeast, you may have heard of these. There's a few of them around in Tennessee, Florida, the Carolinas, Alabama, places like that. I think even Virginia. When I saw my friend in Virginia, they had one. So I got it there, and at that store, and it's a great store. If you're curious, you have one in your area, look it up. It's like an entertainment store. It has new and used books, music, having CDs and vinyls, movies, even instruments, and even used toys like they're sealed in the box. Sometimes they get really old stuff in there from when I was a kid. So it's pretty cool. It really is cool. So you should check it out, see if one's in your area. I'm pretty sure they're just in the Southeast. But anyways, so I accumulated a lot of store credit there from trading stuff in with the intention of getting a record player. And I accumulated $191. All right. So a couple weeks ago when I got this, I get emails from them too, like for promotions and sales they're having at their stores. And I got one that said, you spend $100, you get $30 off. So I saw that and I said, you know what? Today's the day. I am going to get my new record player. I'm just going to do it. It's going to be amazing. So I went up there, got to the store, picked it up. Actually, this was the last one also, to be honest. And I picked it up. And you want to know how much I paid for it? After all my store credit and that coupon to $30 off, I got this $300 record player for $95, which I was super stoked about. It's a good quality record player, I think. So I'm just, especially compared to that thing. So I'm just very happy. I've been wanting one for years and years, and I finally got one. So now let me show you this. This is my record player right here. And then I'm going to show you my equipment, how I got that stuff. But I tell you what, man, the stars aligned for me with all this stuff. So I'll show you that in a minute. But here's my record player. All right. Turn it on. It has a target light on it. It's got, you know, start and stop. All 3 speeds. It has the pitch. Honestly, I don't know what the difference is with this, to be honest with you. And I know this slows it down, or it speeds it up and then slows it down and all that stuff. It has a reverse and forward on it. So you can go forward or you can go in reverse. So, yep, pretty cool. Has the adjustable weight on it. That's what I really wanted, because I tell you what, man, on the other one I can have a perfect record and it would skip. So that's what made me nervous, and that's why after that I really didn't play my records like that, but I feel like they could have been damaging them. So that's another reason why I stopped playing them like that. And there's my little adapter for 45s. It's on a nice silver platter on it. So it's really, really cool. And I'm going to be playing this record for you guys later. So stay tuned to the end. And then it has a nice little cover. So pretty cool. Let me put this down. Shut this off for now. Alright, so after I got this record player, I'm like, okay, now I gotta save up for, you know, a receiver and speakers and all that good stuff. But again, I got lucky. So this is my receiver. It's a Denon. This was actually belonged to my father, but originally I got this for him. There is the model number. Alright, I want to say this model is like a 12, 15-year-old receiver. This, I think, is a Mac Daddy one. You guys see all the outputs behind this thing. It has VCR 1, 2, and 3, and it has crazy outputs. So I got this for my dad originally. My story is, my cousin, he was moving out of his apartment. He had all the stuff. He's like, Johnny, take whatever you want. I saw this receiver. I knew my dad was building a killer theater system at his house. So I said, hey, man, you want that? He's like, no, you can have it. So I took it, brought it back to my dad, gave it to him. And for some reason, he was acting funny. He's like, oh, I don't want to take it. I'm like, why? Dad, I got it for you for free. You're building a system. And his friend, he's a friend named Tracy. He goes to my dad, John, which is my dad. He goes, John, if you don't take that receiver, I will. He goes, that's like a $500-$600 receiver, brand new. So my dad decided to keep it. He had it for about 4 years. He had this killer system. And I'm going to show you the speakers I have now. He gave me all these speakers with this. He has these little surround sound ones. As you can see, they're not hooked up because, really, honestly, this is just too much for a record player, I think. So I have two little Yamahas. Got this crazy subwoofer of that brand. All right, so there's a subwoofer. And I got 2 of these speakers. These tall speakers. This is all I have hooked up, is these tall speakers. They're DCMs. They're KX12 Series 2s. So that's what they are. I want to say these are about, I don't know, maybe $300 to $500 for the pair. I could be wrong. Not really sure. But they're sweet. Yeah, I tell you what, man, this thing sounds awesome. And so my dad gave me all the speakers too. I called him up. Because my dad, he's 60. He's close to retirement age. He's downsizing a lot. And I just said, hey, Dad, I figured I'd run it to him. And if he said no, I'm like, it's all right. I said, Dad, because he's giving furniture away and all that stuff because he's downsizing in the house. So I said, Dad, so what are you going to do with all your stereo equipment? Do you still want that and all that stuff? I thought he was going to say no, to be honest, because he has a big, beautiful 65-inch smart TV with this killer system hooked up to it. It was almost too much, to be honest. I think he unhooked the subwoofer because the bass was crazy. So, but anyways, he said, Johnny, it's all right. Go ahead. You can take it. So I was excited. So I saved more money there. You know, I got all this stuff for free. But I'll probably not use this because I think it'd be too much because the vibration, you know, you don't want too much bass and vibration because it can affect that. It can affect the needle and the play of the record. Sometimes it'll skip or whatever because you don't understand how crazy this system was. And I think there was another speaker that went with this. He just didn't give me one of the speakers. But I have another tall speaker, in case you're wondering where the other one is. It's right there. So, yeah. So I got all this stuff, and it's amazing. So I'm probably about to play this for you guys in a minute. So let's do that. So I'm gonna play an instrumental track that's on this 12-inch single. Hopefully I will not get flagged. I hope I really, really don't. It's from Eric B. and Rakim. This is a rap group. They're actually from the same area I'm from in New York, in Long Island. They were a big rap group, in the late '80s, especially when rap started getting really, really big. So I'm gonna play the instrumental track to Mahogany. So let me set her up and turn her on. So I'm gonna turn this on right here. Gonna start it right here. I'm gonna turn this on. And this thing goes crazy loud. It goes from negative 70 and it goes up, and when I'm in the zero, it's still loud as hell. I never went up to the highest of 18, so it really is crazy. So let me just turn it down. Alright, so hold on one second. I'm going to set this baby up, and we're going to hear how this thing sounds. But this video will not do it justice, to be honest. So, yeah. So, here we go. Hold on one second. So that is Eric B. and Rakim singing. Well, they're not really singing. It's the instrumental track of Mahogany. So that gives you a little idea how it sounds. Good stuff. Very, very happy, you guys. Really cool. But yeah, that's really it. I just really wanted to show you guys my new record player. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me shut everything off. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. And see you later, and goodbye.